Hey fellas, Zim from Shrek Gaming again, doing a review on the new premium tank, the new Tier 6 Polish Panther, affectionately known as the Pudel. Apparently that's actually what it was called. In 1944, the Poles revolted against the Germans and captured two Panther tanks and repainted them and yeah, that's the story behind them. So, uh, if you're familiar with this, if you're familiar at all with the Panther, this is essentially a stock Panther or a VK3002. Those are the two tanks that are closest to what this is. And then when I mean by close, I mean Wargaming put the yeah, paint job on here. Yeah, so that before I guess we get carried away with this, this is actually I bought the essentially the loaded package, which is slightly better than the non-loaded package because I do get 100% crane crew and a couple items to actually get it ready to go. There's of course the ultimate, and then the ultimate, the Poodle Arrives package. Ooh, PZB2's back in the edge. That's a fun tank. Anyway, yeah. So any one of these, unless of course you don't want to grind out a crew, then I would probably suggest go with the Poodle Loaded. Would probably be my best suggestion. So back to the Poodle. If, like I said, if you're earlier, it's a 3002 M or stock Panther. This is what you get, right? Uh, the looks are the same. You're talking differences between the G's, A models of the Panthers. That's a difference. This would be a late 44. Would be a late model Panther. So this Panther, I believe, is a little bit, maybe a little bit older. And of course, the VK3002 is essentially the prototype for the Panther. So, literally both tanks are already in game. The Polish one, they added they added some Polish features to it. No jokes, really, no jokes. So, in comparison, if what I'm talking about here is, very similar tanks, most of the stats are very close to each other, almost identical in just about every way. There is a few minor discretions when you get down here further. I do believe this isn't the actual stock engine. I think this is supposed to be 650 horses for the original stock Panther. I think I didn't switch it over back to the original stock, but I left it in there. I think more along the lines of to kind of give you an idea that they're both these two actually have the upgraded engines compared to the actual stock Panther. But yeah, very close, very very similar to each other. Even right down to the view range. Very 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 similar tanks. So if you like the 3002 and you like the Panther, this is going to be right up your alley. Not much difference. Gun, this is actually the best part of the tank. These 75s, I love these 75s. These things are, if you play the Stug 3, very similar gun. I'm almost positive probably they're identical. That's the L70, and I do believe the Stug 3 is the L70 as well. Yeah, I do believe so. Yep, L70. Except for this is the tank destroyer version of it, of course. So yeah, if you love the Stug, you're gonna love this gun because it's very good. I mean, the 75mm Germans are a very good gun. Very quick firing, usually very good penetration, good accuracy, good aim time. Like I said, easily the best thing on this tank is the gun. 8 degrees gun depression, 3.47 second for the reload time, and that's running, of course, the full 100% crew with the BIA rammers fence. To my typical medium loadout, vents, rammer, optics. Especially when this tank has such a good starting view range, you know, by adding that little bit of, by adding that coated optics, the BIA, you know, I'm already at 432, and after that was only after 7 games. So, you know, 432 at tier 6, hey, can't complain. So, view range, gun, excellent. Tank is very easy to fire. It's very easy to, on the move to fire. You know, this thing is almost laser-like. I mean, we're talking like American style on the move accuracy. And you'll see that in the 3 videos that I post, you know, pulling some amazing shots out of my ass, just by simply pointing and clicking. And I'm not a player that uses auto aim, so, you know, most everything I'm doing is just, you know, doing it myself. So, you know, I had probably 3 or 4 shots that were, you know, on the move, full speed, 200-300 meters away, just, you know, nailing shit left and right. So, gun, spotting range, excellent. Tank, you know, here's the thing about the armor. Just don't get fucking shot, because this thing ain't gonna save you. You know, lower plate's weak as fuck, upper plate weak as fuck. I'd give you the armor. Literally, I'd probably go to that website, gives you armor values, whatever. But just, yeah, you're gonna be alright against 4s. Not, yeah, 4s. Some 5s. That's it. This shit ain't going to stop nothing. So, this is your strongest part of your tank, of course, the mantlet. If you're going to have to play this tank, you know, try to get hull down, turn it a little bit, you might bounce some shit. You know, I do bounce a few shots in these videos, but this is something that you're not going to rely on. Big fat cupola. Essentially, this is the fat kid at tier 6 mediums. Along with the 3002M, you know, big as a barn. Do not get silhouetted. This thing is just massive, you know. So, side armor, I would not trust it if you're going to try to side scrape. 5s and 6s, 4s and 5s, fine. 6s might not be easy. Ash, yeah, there ain't no armor back there. Yeah, that's my armor review. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I mean, the armor's shit. So do not expect to bounce stuff. Just manage. I mean, this is your manage your hit point type of tank. You know, make sure you watch how much damage you're taking. If you have to rely on any part of your armor, it's the mantlet. It's the mantlet, which is okay with a big, tall tank like this. You can find a lot of stuff that you can haul down behind. Or, you know, ridges and whatnot, you can pull up and be fine. Concealment, just assume that you are spotted as soon as you spawn from base. Yeah, there's nothing to say about that. Same way with your mobility. Top speed's 55, which on occasion you do hit. I will give it this: it is not the best. I mean, this thing maneuvers. Yeah, it can get to 55. Okay, that's about it. I mean, it's not terrible, but it's definitely not great. So this isn't going to be something like your Cromwells. You know, obviously, dealing with a Cromwell is an entirely different story. You know, this thing is all about the mobility and all about the concealment. You know, and whatnot. So yeah, you know, these Cromwells I consider the best at tier 6. This, not so much. Is it an adequate tier 6? Yes, of course. With that gun that you do get, any long range engagements, if you're going to play against a Cromwell, you're fine. You're probably going to win most of them. Just not in a brawling sense. This is not a good brawling tank. You're just too slow and too immobile, I guess you could almost call it. You know, you have shit track reverse, turn, so, you know, it's so. So yeah, long range engagements, yes, this tank will be doing just fine for you. Actually, this is a great sniper tank. You know, this is kind of follows along with the rest of the German line. Of course, is Polish, but it does follow line kind of lines with, you know, the very nice accurate gun, you know, decent pen at this tier. Crew wise, you know, you're going to have 5 slots. I have no idea what the Polish tree looks like. Haven't looked it up, no idea. So if it's typical wargaming, you're going to get fucked. The first half the tree you'll be fine because you're going to be able to, and then all of a sudden they'll probably switch to heavy tank or some other shit. So I'm not saying this is going to be a great crew trainer for that reason. I mean, obviously it's going to train your crews for your Polish tanks, but depending on how the trees turn out, you know, how good is this going to be. Would I buy the tank? Yes. If you have the money, yeah, pick it up. You know, let's see here if I can remember what I don't have that up in here more. I guess I restarted. I think the first 3 games I played were all, I started, I think I won all 3 games, and I think I was averaging right around between 20 and 30,000 silver a game. You know, that's a mixed bag of shooting some premium and stuff like that. So yeah, it's a typical tier 6 moneymaker. You know, nothing spectacular, nothing you're gonna get with an 8, of course. But you know, in that sense, it's not a bad tank. Once again, with crew, don't really know. It's got some pretty funky markings on it. You're buying this once again if you're gonna play the Polish, your tank collector. You know, you're not buying this thing if you think this is going to do something different than what's already in game, especially with the 2002 or the stock Panther. This is the same old, same old. So, in that sense, you know, take it for what it's worth. I usually run my standard loadout for medium tank, rammer, fence, optics. Crew, still just I think 7 games into it. I had the BIA crew already. Went 6 cents, designated target, smooth ride, of course situation awareness, get that view range out, and safe storage. With the accuracy of this gun, especially on the move, it's definitely something that you should probably invest in. But again, you don't really know until the Polish tree comes out and what the rest of the guns are going to be like. But this tank does have a very good gun on the move, accuracy wise. So yeah, you know, it does have that going for it. Once again, hit points 840, just about the standard. Your whole armor, you know, we've talked about that. Just don't get shot. I mean, that's all I can say. Once again, probably, I would say one of my favorite guns at tier 6 is that 75 millimeter. You know, the L70. It's so good, so accurate. You know, this is, of course, will change. You know, this is just what I run for. Some people will run, you know, if they want to run food. Don't necessarily recommend it because it's kind of a waste at tier 6. But, you know, changing up your crew skills, changing up your equipment, you know, you're going to change some of these things right here when you train your crew. You know, some of these things are going to change. 2336 average damage, you know, this is not very far behind a Cromwell. So, you know, even if you do get in a gunfight with one of them close up, you know, the extra hit points, you guys are probably just going to be seeing who got the shot first and who rolls what rolls, you know, because you do have that quick of a DPM. So like I said, in a DPM monster, long range engagement, this tank does an excellent job. And it's not a brawling tank. You can try, it just doesn't have the armor to brawl. It doesn't have the speed to brawl. You know, it suffers. So yeah, try to keep them at range and hope for the best. You know, obviously 4, 5s, and 6s you'll be fine. 7s, yeah, you'll be fine. 7s, 8s, you know, with the new matchmaker the way it is, it's kind of fucked up. So yeah, it's just best not to engage as many H's as you can, and obviously don't get shot by them because, you know, bad things happen. So hope you liked the review of the in-game garage. I got 3 games coming up for you guys. Playing this tank, a couple different styles. These are actually the very first 3 games I played of the tank, so I started out with just the BIA crew. Got to give you an idea what the tank's all about. So, and I think the very first one, I believe, is Abby. So I will jump over to that now. Alright guys, back with the first game in the Pudel. Like I said, it was literally the first game. I bought this when I got home from work. And moving on to the Abbey. tier 8 match. Playing with the another Pudel. Apparently he just got home from work as well. So, like I said, I'm going to give this a little bit of a run. We're going to see what we can do here. It does get up to speed well. I'm definitely not going to complain about that. It does struggle a little bit on hills, going up and down, especially going up. It does struggle with that 700 horsepower engine. But yeah, once it does get up to speed, it does hold it well. Like I said, it does move, like I said, fairly well. Once again, it's hard to compare against, say, the Russians or the Cromwell. You know, it just doesn't have the mobility that those tanks have. But it moves. It gets around. I sure hope so. Like I said, being a medium, it would suck if it was, you know, like an OI, I guess. Stop a little bit here, see if they think lit. Do a little typing, you know, because that's what you do at the beginning of the battle. You know, you gotta talk to people. So onto the 1-2 line. In this map, I don't know if I usually talk about map tactics when I talk about this. The 8-9-0 line is typically, in my opinion, kind of a waste of time, just because once you get to the end of the 8-9, you gotta get up on the ramp, right? And it's hard to get up there, especially if there is a fair amount of tanks sitting anywhere along the center, or if they do have if they have the center, or you know, the 6, 7, 8 area in those low spots. So patience. See if anything pops out. You know, with the T-34-85, you never know what can be hiding up there. So we have the Strev going to go with me, so it's time to do a little pushing. Like I said, most of us all over here are tier 6s. You know, they see us push, so now they're pushing up. T-29 shows up, which is great. That's always awesome when tier 7 heavy shows up, and it gives us a chance to maybe do a little damage here. 34-85 still looking at us. I get a little bit pixel colored blind, whatever you want to call it. Okay, so that's 2 shots in a row that I've actually fired on the move here, that I've hit. Like I said earlier in the review of the tank does fire very well on the move. Actually, it fires better than when you sit still for some reason. So, chase the T-209, he stops, he turns around. I don't really want to deal with that, so it's best just to change directions. Here's a little bit example of its flanking and maneuver ability to flank. Like I said, it does get back up to its original top end speed relatively quickly, especially on hard ground. You know, I'm back up to 50, not quite 55, but you know, it's not quite fast enough to catch the T-29. You know, obviously being a heavy tank, he had a big head start. But yeah, we can move, get around behind him, see if we can get some shots into his butt here. He actually goes after the Strev, which is surprising that he decided to turn his back and at least maybe not even try to get away. But he actually doesn't really do any damage to the Strev. I think he gets hit one time or whatever, and by the time we get over here, it gives us a chance to get in there. Make sure you stop firing your shots. I get a little carried away here and just start spamming shells. Like I said, with that very, very quick reload time on this tank, you can put out a fair amount of damage fairly quickly. And back on to moving into the base. I do like some of it's kind of an interesting paint scheme. It's got the big P in the front, and you know, a couple little fancy items on the side. I guess apparently this is the first first tank they've modeled, I believe it's called Zimmerit, which was an anti-tank paste, or not anti-tank, anti-mine paste that they put on the backside of the tank. And it actually wouldn't allow mines to stick to it. And you can see that with the front of the tank, how it's kind of got that squiggly look to it, you know. Yeah, that's what apparently what it is. So maybe there's something new. So back to the game. Moving on. sit around in a medium for too long, especially when there's damage to be had. Since this was really more of a roll, their team actually hardly even left base, so not a great game to, like I said, great on the move, not so great when you actually might have to sit still and make the shot. So I got another game coming. Like I said, I got 3 of these games. I'm gonna give you an idea what this tank's all about. Alright, back to Ruinberg, top tier. This time I'm going to play it a little bit more like a heavy, since we didn't get any. Thank you, Wargaming. But anyway, yeah, I'm going to try a little something different here. Usually if I spawn from this side, just about every tank I play, whether it's, except for maybe a light tank, I typically try to go for the EF line down the center, and that's definitely what I'm going to do here with this tank. Hard ground, decent acceleration, up to speed relatively quickly, and duck back inside here. This gives me a chance, if you can control this line, it seems like on this, at least on this map, you have a better chance of controlling the game. So, in we come. I noticed right away that nobody actually went into town other than M4. So instead of facing off into the field, I decided I better turn around and at least cover this side. And until I saw this J Panther decide to YOLO into his death, which is alright, whatever. Do what you gotta do. And rest of the team out here. This is actually one of them perfect chance. I mean, so see, we always talk about, if you want to up your XP, if you want to, spotting damage is always important. And that's literally, yeah, bounce off the ass of KV1S. Thank you. So, moving up in here, give you, try to keep things spot, with this great view range on this tank, I believe at this point I still only at about 425 view range. Where I'm sitting here, trying to keep things lit, moving around. I think this tank actually wouldn't be too bad. I'm trying to keep it hull down as much as I can, just because of that weak hull. Of course, against an E2, he does have the derp. People still play the derp on their tier 6s, but each their own. So, faced off against the E2, try to come out, pull him off. Snapshots on this tank are very easy to pull off. This thing has such a small aiming circle, so it can pick up the snapshot fairly easy, and definitely playing out on the playing off against these tanks like that, it works out fairly well. HE, not always the best idea, but hey, whatever, I guess. Tiger 131, yeah, he's a different story. He, like I said, no problem pinning my tank. Switch back to premium because I'm going to be shooting him in the turret. Digging around a little bit here. You can see how tight that aiming circle gets on this gun. It's a very good gun. I mean, we're talking this, I think, is very similar to the gun that you get on this Tier 3, Tier 5. 75 millimeters, especially German 75 millimeters, you just can't beat them for just sheer accuracy, and especially at these lower levels. So yeah, I do enjoy the gun. That's probably the absolute best feature of this tank is the gun, and the ability to just out DPM most everything it needs. So yeah, we pretty much rolled. I had some really, first 3 games were great, good matchmaking and very quick wins. Unfortunately, after that it kind of went downhill. So I got one more video for you guys, and I will show it to you right now. Okay, last video, guys. This is my one of my favorite maps for a medium, Swamp. So we got the typical, hey, let's everybody go down the 1, 2, 3, 4 line for the heavies. Mediums do what their thing. TDs sit up on the hill. And this actual game, I'm going to play this tank quite a bit more like the actual, what you should be playing medium, which is the, maneuvering the flanking and whatnot. And also, since this is a tier 6 game, and I do probably assume at this point I probably have, if not the best view range right now, even with enemy tanks, easily with, you know, right around 425 meters. I'm going to move myself over to the right around here by the 0 line. If anybody doesn't know about this, you know, you go over to about the C7 area and you spot all that stuff that's going up to 0 line. You'll see some of my I have some other videos on the swamp, and STIs and T30s and whatnot, and you'll see here shortly why it's hard for the mediums to come up from the 0 line from the south spawn to come north. You know, because I'm simply, all I gotta do is come over here to this corner and spot, you know, spot him and try to keep him lit, because he is going to get wrecked as he goes into trying to get up there. Keep the Thunderbolt spotted. Of course, the Cromwell is fast enough to make it up there, but he's going to have no help, literally no help from these other players. And just keeping these guys lit, finish him off, winning this side. You can watch the bottom half. The OI is still down there. The two T-34-85s that did go down there, I don't get it. You're taking all of your mobility out of the game, and you're going to go down there and just play peekabookie with some bunch of TDs, and most likely end up dying because of it. So, back to the game here. Got a Thunderbolt to get through. Push up into the deal here. Use this nice, beautiful view range that you have. Pick up the Achilles. He has a little, not really much of an idea that I'm sitting here until a little bit later. There, he finally picks me up. Kind of a shark. Actually bounced a shot. So like I said, big as a barn door, but you know, try to keep that lower part of your tank down, and just hope to God that your turn bounce a shot or two. Alright, so the game's a little tighter here. Artillery decides that he's going to make me my whipping boy. You know, move around, knock out tanks that need to be knocked out. If you can knock a tank out that has low HP, do it. Once again, watching the mini-map, see what's going on. Stunned, and more stunned. Okay, thank God at this lower level, when they do actually stun you, your crew's not knocked out for like 30 seconds and all that shit. So, got a tank behind me, got an artillery watching. It's time to move up. And this is what I said about, you know, a typical medium play style with this tank. It's possible, you know, it's definitely very, very possible to move up and play as a medium. You know, in this game, I'm playing a little bit more like a scout slash medium. You know, I'm fulfilling that role as a scout. You know, and you can do that when you know, with these tanks that have this fairly good starting view ranges. Add a couple bit of equipment, you know, up your view range to you know, well over 420. You know, gives you a little bit of advantage. You know, obviously at tier 6. So, like I said, the gun view range of this tank, excellent. You know, it definitely helps. Mobility is about the only thing I really have to complain about with this tank, is its mobility. And of course, I can't say too much about lack of armor. Obviously, it's I mentioned it several times now. Just don't get shot, right? Just don't get shot. So, I am the eyes of my team right now, at least on this side right now. So I'm moving up, trying to keep things lit as much as possible. Find the 44. You know, in hindsight, you know, I placed a nice shot there. In hindsight, I probably should have just, you know, kept on shooting as I moved, you know, auto lock, whatnot. I probably had a better luck hitting that. But once again, keep these guys lit, move around. You know, everybody's finally starting to move up. We have complete utter map control right now, so it gives us a chance to take a good shot from him. I thought he was actually dead right now, but apparently he didn't actually fall in the water. So, as a tank, as a premium tier 6 tank, I would say yes. This this is worth buying, especially if you're thinking about definitely going down the Polish line. I don't have, like I said, a lot of complaints about this tank. You know, gun's great, view range great, and whatnot. Of course, my luck, I totally donk a shot because that's what you do. So, like I said, third game in this. Actually, I think this was ended up being a not an ace tanker, but a number one or some shit because of the fact how much spotting I do in this game. At tier 6, I mean, it's not a whole lot, but every little bit counts. So, I've always preached about these other games, especially when it comes to spotting and damage. That extended view range will do wonders for you. And, and then, like I said, definitely does not hurt. I believe after all three of these wins, and this is being the better of damage-wise and spotting-wise, I think this was probably like about a 40k take-home, maybe somewhere in there, 35, 40k take-home, which isn't bad at tier 6. By no means. I didn't fire a whole bunch of premium shells. Actually, I don't think I did fire a few, but yeah, majority of the shells I did fire premium, so I did make between 30 and 40k for the win. So 1258 damage, and I do get a bit more damage, assisted damage here when I do spot this. The last guy on their team who's just hanging out. So 1300, 1200. You have a general idea what this thing's gonna make for money. So hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I will talk to you guys later.